This is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And this is
Season 6 of Pero Let Me Tell You.
No.
So for those of you who don't know, as we started, mi gente, we are here today with comedian and honestly just a fun way to introduce a guest. We're here with Oye Dairon.
Oye.
Dairon Vasquez. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you, Rice. Thank you.
So I have a bone to pick with you, sir.
Yes.
Oh, a bone.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we are
empezamos mal.
on what, season 8?
Season 7.
Season 7. Oh, I'm a year advanced.
Yes.
We're on season 7. We're almost on episode 300. You know that you were one of the first people we reached out to be on our show, like
he
in
told me,
2018.
he showed me the message at the play.
You still have the message?
Yeah,
Well, because it was
through
Instagram.
No, it's not like he kept it like a cycle.
I was like, whoa.
It's on Instagram.
meeting
And I told him, coincidentally, what happened 7 years ago is my son was born. So, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Once your first child is born,
Yeah.
you ignore
So
everything, bro.
I feel like all of our guests now are going to use that as the excuse.
The
No, the thing
excuse.
is that like child was
Yeah,
born
bro.
when
you're changing diapers and driving to daycare y resingándote la hora que naciste.
Oh yeah. Listen, I have a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
no,
bro.
you don't have to tell me twice. But yeah, when we started the podcast in 2018, and we wanted to like obviously focus on people that were here in Miami and Miami based and people that we liked. You were one of the first people that we were like, damn, we gotta have this guy on the show. But no, you were too big. You were too already a hot
yeah,
shot.
he was big leaguing
Yo
us.
no come mierda and I'm still come mierda. Pero at least now I have more to talk about.
There
So,
you go.
see,
You know what?
You have 7 extra years.
It worked out
more
perfectly.
things have happened, more experiences
Worked out
to
perfectly.
discuss.
But no, seriously though, man, thank you for swinging by.
thank you
Like,
guys.
so you like he mentioned the show. You were doing, I guess, like the rotating guest role in the Sweet 15 Que Quinceañera.
Yeah.
That's the name of the show. And afterwards, I basically cornered you and was just like, "Hi, you were great." So we were gonna be on the show, right? I'm sure it was a little like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
But you showed me the message and I go, "Oh fuck!"
But like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I have to.
See,
Oye,
that's why-
tremenda memory tiene Instagram.
You know what?
Yeah,
Damn.
no, Instagram, that shit.
You gotta keep receipts. You gotta keep receipts. You gotta keep receipts.
Eso lo graba todo.
and then
Mark
some.
Zuckerberg sabe todo.
I know.
Whatever. Let him know.
Yeah,
Let him know. Whatever we got to hide.
Yeah.
But no, what I was saying, so you were part of the show, and you were in the show, but you also did a set before the show.
Yeah, like an opening.
And I learned something that day, which is that you were born in Cuba.
Yeah, bro, can't you tell? Like,
You were no.
Mírame.
No, you sound okay. You have the Miami accent.
Yes.
That's
Right.
why I'm like. That's why it never dawned on me.
Yes.
That you were not from here. But
Because
like,
we all have it. So
Right.
we don't know that we have it.
right, and but you also came when you were young.
Yeah,
Like,
I was 7.
you were 7, right? So like
Yeah.
you've got an accent, but again, it's the Miami accent.
Yeah,
It's-
I was as old as this has been a podcast.
Right. So 300 episodes later, he would have been born. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I was 7 years old. It was 1993, and my mom was like, "Ya no puedo más con esta mierda," so we left.
Yeah. And what part of Cuba are you from?
Havana, like
Havana.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. 4th floor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it.
That's it.
Not
Wow,
literally,
okay,
tercer
okay.
piso. Okay.
That's so funny that became a joke, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Because like I know Havana's a big city, but damn.
Everybody's from Havana because that's where I guess nothing is.
Yeah.
Everything is supposed to be there, but nothing is. So
What really is there,
Ahí
right?
no hay nada.
That was
That's
so
how they
poetic.
advertise it. They advertise, todo mundo, ven para La Habana, que es de todo. Ni pinga.
Do you obviously? I mean, you left at 7, so you must remember.
Yeah, I do.
Right.
And I was back.
Oh, okay.
As long as like while my grandma was alive, I went back. I think a total of 5 times.
Oh, okay. So you've
to
been.
visit.
You've been.
Okay,
You've
so
been.
you know.
Yeah.
How do you think? Because obviously having lived there, because I was born there too, but I came when I was a year old. So I don't remember. How do you think? Having had some of your childhood there and then going back, how do you think that's informed your comedy and your routine and all that?
Well, before you're 7, you remember some things, but it's not really that. It was more. I live in a Cuban house,
Right.
So it's like I didn't leave Cuba,
Right. Right.
Because
No.
my
Yeah.
mom
There was
and
just
my
consistent
dad,
electricity.
Yeah, nobody changed their the way they talk, las frases, and all of that. And I'm observant, so I just Eso se quedó. Yeah, then yo me wait, what's the word?
Americanicé.
Sí, okay.
He's still struggling with it.
Yeah, yo me americanicé. Like for a while when I went off to school. So because my friends at FIU were like, what, like, you know, born here from Cuban parents, pero gringish. Y después, it was until I went to pharmacy school, que ahí me grupé con unos cubanos. Que ahí it was like...
At FIU, down here too?
Pharmacy was at Nova.
At Nova, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, in Broward County.
Yeah, bro.
Damn. Sacaste pasaporte.
Sí, brother.
Yeah.
I would have to drive there every day, but I would carpool with a guy that I met.
But that makes sense, though, because there's less of them there, so they want to huddle together.
Yeah,
Like a gang,
we
right?
all got together like oil.
¿Quién lo oye? Oh, no, when I went to pharmacy school, I huddled with the Cubans. Things that he went to school in Nebraska.
In Puerto Rico. No, in Cuba, in La Habana. Yeah, dude, we all got together because it's, you know, your culture siempre se atrae. I mean, you start like, coño, aquí no hay café, porque obviously el café que hay en Davie is like our culo, like gringo coffee. So we're like, no, aquí no hay, ¿dónde se busca una colada aquí? And that's when you hear somebody, hey, where you from? Where you from? Y ahí we all became a study group. Y ahí era just daily hearing it. And my boy, he became my friend, we started carpooling to save gas. This was from 2009 to 2013. That's when I was in pharmacy school. So gas was expensive around that time.
So it's Dr. Dairon.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Yeah, get it right. So, Dr. Oye.
Dr. Oye.
La gasolina, remember, that was after the whole financial crisis.
Yeah.
La gasolina estaba por like $5 a gallon. So we were like, yo, you live at my house. So we're like, let's fucking...
Carpool.
Yeah, let's carpool. Yeah.
Y más doctor.
Yeah, it's true, you know, that somehow we find each other because that same thing happened to me. Yeah. But I went to law school, not in Broward County. I went in Michigan. So, like, by the second year, I was like the Cuban ambassador. Like, every freaking Cuban in, like, Michigan knew me. And I'm like, how did this happen?
But you see how you start losing, like, you come from a Cuban house, hearing Cuban stuff. Y cuando te pegas con los gringos, you start losing it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then
you have to be on time. You have to be on time to places.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, when you said you were coming at 3, you really meant at 3?
Yeah.
You have never been on time ever, even around white people.
I had to be. If not, I used to carpool to school too.
Yeah.
I'd be left behind.
Yeah. No, our carpool would leave at whatever time. I'd have to get to my friend's house and he'd be sleeping still. So, eso no.
Yeah, estoy ahí. And
Eso es cosa de nosotros. And then here's where I really came back to my roots. I got out and I got a job in Hialeah.
Oh, so, that'll do it to you.
Ahí es donde I barely speak English. Like, I haven't spoken English in 3 days.
Did you find yourself?
I'm so glad that I'm talking to you guys.
Did you find yourself in Hialeah saying words in Spanish that you never had said before?
Yeah.
Like carril. I used to say, eso es una senda, which is where you drive.
Oh, yeah.
In Spanish, the proper name is carril.
The proper Spanish. But,
really?
But in Hialeah, at least my area, they don't speak proper Spanish.
No.
Es hoy. They say a lot of esa mierda. Well, whatever esa mierda.
But also, but you know, you work in pharmacy, so I'm assuming there's a degree of like
professionalism.
No. Let me rephrase that. No.
You're funny.
Not professionalism, but having to translate really complicated words into Spanish. Dude. That I've always said this. I'm like, if I walk into a doctor's office and the person does not speak English, I have to leave. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I cannot have a conversation and explain what ails me in Spanish.
¿Tú no puedes hablar de la vesícula en español?
I mean, that's about it. Ahí empieza y termina. Me duele todo.
No, but not for clinical stuff. That's easy. It's for like insurance stuff, like prior authorization. How do you explain to una vieja cubana prior authorization?
How do you explain that?
Or adjudication. No, it's adjudication.
I want you to explain that now in Spanish.
Eso es comunismo. No me hables
or a controlled substance.
Oh, no.
Oxycontin.
Eso es control. ¿Y qué quiere decir eso? Que no se puede. ¿Y por qué no? And then comunista for everything.
As we say here, all roads lead to communism.
At the end of it,
it doesn't matter what it is.
Nah, bro.
It could be health insurance. It could be food. It could be
Viagra.
It could be. Yeah. It's so funny you say that. Some years ago, my mom, Tropicana, the orange juice, did like a rebranding. That they made their packaging like a little bit more, I don't know, monochromatic. There was a lot of white, and it wasn't nice. They changed it. I don't know, a few months later, right? Yeah. And my mom's like, mira eso que feo está. Así es como empieza el comunismo. Así es como pensó allá. Los envases tan bonitos, después eran todos rusos y eran feísimos. I'm like, oh my God.
Because the Russians didn't believe in color or like a design.
Wait, so communism is monochromatic?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The communism has a certain aesthetic and architecture.
Communism is just
is
gray.
Apple communist?
No.
No.
It's like grayish and like, like
Brutalist architecture is,
yes,
is very
but
socialist
to
and
me,
communist.
brutalist architecture is not the same as monochromatic.
Well, it's
Oh, no,
usually
yeah.
gray.
To me, that's just gray. That's not monochromatic. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but not modern, like modern things now. Like Apple is monochromatic. Doesn't
So,
mean that it's communist.
Working in Hialeah all these years, do you agree or disagree that Hialeah is the Brooklyn of the South?
Brooklyn of the
South
South.
Florida.
¿Te acuerdas esa mierda?
Hialeah, let me tell you something about Hialeah. I mean, there's a lot to say about Hialeah, but what I do respect is that you could find whatever the hell you want, whatever you're looking for. We had not too long ago a counter that broke, and I needed una tabla. I just opened the door and I told the borrachos to hang out in the corner. Oye, René, necesito una tabla. Oh. Bro, in 5 minutes, había una tabla. And I got it with a saw. ¿Qué tamaño tú la quieres? Ready to cut.
Don't ask how it got there,
Bro,
where it
whatever you
came
want.
from.
A mango, whatever the hell you want. Whatever you want.
A mango, a table, it's
Una
all
coa, whatever you want. In less than 5 minutes, it's there. But it's cool because, like you said, so you're explaining those things to people, but they get it after a while. It's just frustrating, man.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of patience.
But you know what, though? I have to tell you that I rather have una vieja cubana o latina que no entiende nada than a Karen.
Me too, bro.
Yeah.
Than, una americana Karen, because those are the worst.
Me too. So I also work for another company doing like floating for a retail pharmacy. I don't know if I should say the name.
No,
you don't have
that's
to.
what you don't have to.
Because
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
work
talk-
for Acme Pharmacy.
Because I'm gonna
Yes.
those motherfuckers, I'm gonna talk shit about them. So I work for one of those retail chains as per diem. That's just like an extra job, right? But I've been there for years, so I have like I've accrued vacation and all that if I were to go with them full time. So they send me everywhere, wherever the day I can work matches with theirs. And I've gone to Pinecrest, dude. And I've gone to I've worked in Aventura. And like you said, yo prefiero un cubano. Mi gente son más. Le dice whatever. They don't threaten to sue you. Like, toda esa gringa, oh, what do you mean? If I can't have my Zoloft, I'm going to sue you. Y te amenazan. I have the CEO's number in my phone.
Yeah.
All right, call that motherfucker. I don't care.
She clearly does need that Zoloft if that's her immediate attitude.
Yeah,
like,
for
you know.
real, bro.
I'm calling
Sanas.
HQ. I'm
Yeah.
calling HQ,
Yeah.
whatever.
What's
Karen.
your name?
What do you mean it's on back order? I don't manufacture medication, lady. Like, I just dispense it, but I don't
Yeah.
manufacture. If I manufactured, I wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah.
I'd be rich somewhere.
Right. If she
Yeah.
wants to manufacture, she's got to go to Hialeah.
Yeah. I didn't get you anything.
Yes.
Right.
But you know what, though? I have to tell you, it's not only Cubans. A couple of years ago, I had an eye infection, and a friend of mine, Kenika, was like, bro, go to this pharmacy there in Flagler, you know, Seke? And he's like, it's a Nicaraguan family.
Nica family.
And-
Yeah.
And they're going to give you whatever you want. And I did, and I went and they did.
The Nicas are cool too.
Good to know.
So I was like, okay, it's not only us.
I love Nicas. I have a lot of Nica friends. Those are my people.
Caballero,
I
los
love their
la-
food.
Los latinos resuelven. That's
Sí, right.
to,
Más temprano.
to
Yeah.
quote our friend Neri Sangs, the comedian, you know, they always ask him, what is it? They always ask him about a queso frito. Like, you're your Nica, like queso frito.
That's what everybody says. Nica, queso frito.
Okay, so you also, what I think is hilarious. Okay, so you're a pharmacist. Okay, big deal. Okay,
Yeah, no.
Wow.
okay, but what is
that
the
shit. I
most
hate
All that
what is-
travel to Davie
what
to
is
study.
the most Miami thing about you? I don't know if you still do this, but one of the most Miami things about you that I thought was hilarious that you were also a realtor.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, you were?
He was.
Yeah, no, I am.
Oh, you are.
I have a broker's license. I have a broker.
What is more Miami than a guy who's a
Yeah.
freaking pharmacist, a professional,
Yeah.
but he's also a realtor?
Yeah.
And a comedian.
But a broker. So let me tell you what the broker's thing is. This isn't going to leak to the IRS, right?
I mean, I don't know who's listening.
So the broker thing is because if you have an LLC or an Inc., you know this,
Yeah.
you can write off stuff.
Right.
So if you don't do that, if you're just a W-2 como pinga employee, you're going to get raped, especially at my tax bracket.
Yeah.
So I do have expenses.
Yeah.
Okay?
You do.
I do. I
How
have
could anybody think
expenses,
that you
sir.
don't?
So the brokerage is that, but it served good for like investments, dude. To be in there in the MLS.
Yeah.
I stopped having to do it because of the schedule with the kids.
Yeah, tell me you're from Miami without telling me you're from Miami.
Yeah, broker.
Legit.
Everybody here is in real estate.
You know what, bro? Hay tiempo para hacer de todo because the comedy shit is algo que yo empecé en el carro. Just comiendo mierda because I was bored in traffic.
I remember.
So eso that I didn't know it was going to blow up.
So take us back. You have like close to 100,000 followers at this point. Take us back. I remember your videos 7 years ago, around the time that I first came across you, but I think you were already around for a bit then. How did this all start? Did this start by accident, or were you trying to get your name out there
traffic?
As a comedian?
So 2015 is when I posted my first video. I didn't even have Instagram because Instagram, I don't know if you recall, it was just pictures.
Yep. Yeah.
The videos were only 15 seconds, but that came later. Like 15-second videos. You couldn't edit, you couldn't format them. You remember how like raw it was? And I had Snapchat and I had Facebook. So I just started recording, ranting my life on the Palmetto. Remember, Hialeah to here. I lived 5 minutes in Westchester. So I started ranting about it. And people were like, bro, can you post it on Facebook? Because I want to show my mom and she doesn't have Snapchat. Or I want to show my grandma or whatever. Just me talking shit about Cubans. Well, not talking shit about Cubans, but you know, Cuban life. Y then I would start saving them, putting them on Facebook. Y ahí es cuando empezó, you know, the views, the followers, people, the friend requests, all of that. Y ahí es cuando empezó eso. Después Instagram up, like, I started posting little ones on Instagram, 15 seconds long. Once Instagram, you could do a minute.
Yeah.
Ya empecé exclusively on there. Yeah. I don't even go on Facebook anymore.
I completely had forgotten the 15-second
video.
Dude,
yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
There was a lot you have to do with 15 seconds.
Imagine my content. Sí, porque la vieja, bro, que quiere la ciudadanía.
You're done.
No soy ciudadano. In 15 seconds, you can't build the...
Do you know what caught my eye in terms of your skits is... Because a lot of people do that comedy of like different characters. A lot of people do it. I don't think everybody's funny, right? And everybody... there's some people I think that are hilarious and then some that are not. What I loved about your videos, and that's why I would crack up, were that you were able to really... capture small little details about the characters that you did. For example, the thing that you would do con la vieja, that she would hold her thing like that. Oh my God. I remember seeing that. I'm like, my mother does that when she steps out of the house at night porque la va a coger el sereno. You know, that is so like those little small nuances that you're really good at capturing.
Thank you,
and
man.
That's what totally caught my attention. I'm like, okay,
I've always
been
hilarious.
A
fan of like subtle comedy. Like when I watch a movie, I'm looking at the people in the background or like the non-verbal things. Not so much as a banana peel. Whoa! I'm not that type of comedy. You get me? So eso I'm very observant. Yo veo los viejos. They're pushing up the glasses and they're being like, and the phlegm. Yeah. Old people with their phlegm.
Yeah.
So
old people with their phlegm.
That's a T-shirt.
Old people phlegm.
With their phlegm.
Yeah, man.
But you know, it's funny because you say that. I think it was Eddie Suarez we had earlier this year who was saying something similar, where it's like, you know, the comedy comes from fijándote en los detalles.
He's so good.
He's great.
But it's the details.
That guy is an actor.
Yeah.
That guy. The only thing with him is if he was to learn English, obviously, he would take over this fucking...
Yeah, well, he's only been here for, what was
it?
Like
bro,
a year. A year.
Desde que aprende inglés, he's going to take over this.
And he's trying. Like, he's making those inroads.
He's so good. He's like, ay... Eso, la vieja de una taco, bro. That one,
dude, that is taco. That's one of the best ones.
He's so good. He's so good.
He has a skit that I mentioned to him here about the mother and the daughter. Sumailin.
Yeah.
Sumailing's like another. I was like, Sumailin should have a spinoff. That se dieron una faja por un pozuelo.
Oh yeah, bro.
No, porque tú dejas el pozuelo por ahí.
My mom will give me frijoles en un pozuelo, and if I don't return that, bro, it's a piece of plastic and it's stained like old picadillo grease.
Yeah,
and it's like, if you don't return that, bro, I mean, pozuelo, she has like an inventory of pozuelos, bro.
Yeah.
She cares more about that than her aguacates.
Yeah, that's such a great word, right? Pozuelo. Like portarretrato.
Pozuelo. We're one of a kind, bro. We say shit like, ay, the other day she's like, ay, las gavetas están sucias, tengo que pasarle un paño. Un paño a la gaveta, inside. Because inside the gaveta gets dirty.
There's dust.
Bro, never in my life if I pasar un paño.
So you know that those disposable like plastic plates and all that, you know the fancy ones that are supposed to look like real plates that are white and have the gold lining?
Yeah.
The point is that they're disposable. My mom keeps them and she washes them.
Pero claro, si todavía están buenos.
Todavía están buenos. And I'm like, okay, but shouldn't we have used the real ones if you're washing them?
Bro, one time at a party, I saw my
Porque
grandma.
después se rompe y después
Yeah,
no tengo.
no, but those are like.
No, but he's saying the real ones. I'm like, no, porque después se me rompe de verdad y después me falta un plato del set.
Yeah.
My grandma one time at a party, dude, I saw her rinsing and just putting upside down red Solo cups.
Yeah. Porque eso está bueno.
Igual que en la crisma, she would open the gifts con una precisión to save the wrapping paper. Es que you have to understand, ella vino de allá del campo de Cuba.
Yeah. The Cuban trauma doesn't go away.
Yeah, bro, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Listen, in their defense, during COVID, we didn't have toilet paper. So you know what? They didn't know what else was going to go missing. All right? Shit could have happened.
I never understood the correlation there between a virus and the thing to wipe your ass.
Yeah, your pharmacist. What was that all about?
What does that have to do with
I don't know, but you understand these
You're
things.
more of an expert than we are.
Yeah.
No,
I remember when it came out, we would be like, pero da diarrea. Come da diarrea. I don't know, maybe da diarrea, so you know.
I mean,
That would explain it.
I was like, is that one of the things? No, it's a respiratory virus. What does it have to do with your asshole? And I'm like, dude, I don't get it. It's just la mentalidad de masses.
Yeah.
Oh,
Groupthink.
all you have to say, esto se va a acabar.
That's it.
Como cuando viene un huracán.
Cuando vieron ahora.
There's a tropical storm in Africa. Oh my God,
Yeah.
Home Depot. Let's go to Home Depot.
The plywood, the water. I never understood the water either. I got here in 93, so it was right after Andrew.
okay.
So I didn't live through Andrew. Las maticas estaban aguantar
Yeah.
con palito when I
Yeah.
got here. I go,
Yeah.
ay, qué lindo. I remember.
Post Andrew.
Post Andrew.
Did you think that's just how we had our trees
I don't know.
here?
I was like, ay, esta es la Yuma, whatever. Hay que adaptarse. Pero I did live through going back Irma. One that was called Floyd.
Yes.
You remember how Katrina,
Katrina,
Wilma?
Yeah.
We didn't have power. It was like there was one during Halloween. We went on a Halloween party.
Wilma or Katrina?
I think it was W. Yeah, it had to have been late because it was October 31st.
Ah,
Dude, ¿viste? Ese
esa
es
es la
farmacéutico, bro. Ese es la pharmacy.
Es que hay un doctor aquí.
Hay un
you know.
doctor caballero.
This is when we
La
asked him
lógica.
about the toilet paper.
Yeah.
We figured
So,
he'd know.
dude, we went to a Halloween party sin electricidad. There was no power. So I lived through a lot of hurricanes. There was toilet paper though. At the party, there was toilet paper.
There was no power, but there was toilet paper.
I remember I used the toilet paper. And never through any hurricane did we run out of water. Or like did the water stop working? Right. Power, yeah, but not the water.
But at least water I understand, right? Because like the water could be contaminated.
Oh,
it could be,
yeah, I didn't
you know,
do
like
that. Yeah.
I understand it.
You need it to live.
Right. I
Got
don't
you.
understand the toilet paper.
No, that has no.
Because even like worst case scenario, the junk mail didn't stop.
No,
So like, you could have figured it out.
No,
Hay
mira,
mata de
yo en Cuba-
plátano.
Right.
Yo
Yeah.
en Cuba me limpiaba
Yeah.
el culo con... Okay, so in Cuba, the toilet paper, if you look real close, there's letters in it. Because they use newspapers and they recycle it into the...
Bueno, I had an ex that used to say que en Cuba, his butt was smarter because it used to read the newspaper.
Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
no lie.
Yeah.
There's little letters, random letters,
That
because
is-
they make it like a mush, they make it like a pulp with the... And then they roll it into paper. Eso duele, eso te pela el culo, brother. Hay que andar con el culo pelado, so... I mean, I need my Charmin or my Amazon brand.
Or a bidet. It's like, whoa.
A bidet in Cuba, good luck.
No, once you get here. Once you get here.
Oh, yeah, once you get here. Pero eso es de fancy.
The
I've never-
luxuries.
I've
The
never had that
luxuries.
in my life.
Ay, Dios mío.
I saw it once at a friend's house, and I go, ¿y eso qué cosa es?
Did you try it?
There's two toilets here. You're talking about the one that looks like a toilet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that for? That's to wash your ass?
Yeah.
They told me it was to wash your... I didn't do it. I didn't wash my face. But they said...
Yeah, that wouldn't have ended well.
¿Para qué te vas a agachar tanto to wash your face?
No, I don't know. I don't know why that's...
Ahí la mente de doctor no le estaban dando.
No.
This is pre-university.
Yeah.
Pre-university.
So, seriously, in your role as a distinguished pharmacist, do you ever have these viejos that are like, oye,
Yeah.
yo te conozco a ti?
Yeah, at the pharmacy, a lot of people, like, what they want to take pictures and stuff, but it's usually younger people, like our age.
Right.
Yeah.
My demographic is, because you know, in Insights, the business tools, 30 and up. 30 is a major. Then you got 40s, obviously your 50s, 20s is the least. Now it's grown because
Right.
obviously more people are I don't know, getting into it.
Does it cut off like after the 50s? The reason I say this is because I think a lot of like older people, when I mean older, yeah, I mean 60s, maybe because even people in their 50s were raised here. They're like their first generation. But like I think people, in their 60s and 70s and up, when I show them Cuban comedy, they don't get it. They're like, ¿y de qué se están riendo ellos? And
Right,
I'm like,
right.
"Of
They
us?"
they don't laugh at themselves.
So at all my shows, I always ask, like as part of the thing, who's in their 20s? 30s? Whoa. 40s? 60s is always like cuatro gatos.
Yeah.
But you can't judge on that because those are just the 60-year-olds who are partygoers and they go to a show.
Oh, that's true.
Right. Pero a lot of them get the videos shown to them by younger people. And they like, so here's the thing. I have the old people ones, the skits about the old people and the abuelos. I have relationship ones. I have like the ones about parenting, like me and my kids. They're more towards obviously the ones that are real authentic Cuban, like mi aguacate, no sé qué. Like,
Right.
Those are the things that they. So, and they're not that much on social media, dude.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a combination of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that your type of comedy is really, really appreciated by somebody who is like straddles both cultures.
I think first generation.
Yeah, because you get to see, we could sort of laugh at ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because we've also been on the other side of like the Anglo-ness of it all. So
I will say though, based on because he goes to the same gym that I do. I've seen him at the gym.
oh yeah,
I didn't know it was him
yeah.
until recently. But the amount
Yeah.
of people that go up to him at the gym, and this was, I was like, it looks like Dairon, but I don't know if that's him, and those are fans going up to him, or if it's just some guy who knows a lot of people at the gym.
Yeah.
No, I don't
But
know.
like
I don't know.
the amount
I
of
don't know
people
them.
that go up to you at the gym, and I have to say, to your credit, you are very nice when I've seen you, because when I'm at the gym, I'm like, I don't want to know about anything.
Right.
Yeah,
You are very, but
just,
but you're very. You could have just honestly, you could have just been like, no, I'm not that guy.
no,
Like
I'm not
you could
gonna
have just
do
been
that.
like, ¿Da quién? ¿Da querí?
No,
¿Cómo?
I'm not
Like,
gonna do that, especially when a lot of people have told me that like they've been sad or whatever. At first, I didn't believe it. I was like, no, that can't be. But a lot of people have told me, oh, I've been sad or going through a rough patch in my life, and the videos cheered me up because they remind me of my mom or my dad or my grandparents who passed away. Stuff like that. Yo no voy a hacer, yo no soy, eso cosa como me pinga.
But you know what though, a lot of times you do this content and you don't even realize the impact that it has. Mira, we've always been a fan of Jenny Lorenzo, and I've always liked her abuela character. And when my abuela died a couple of years ago, and my grandmother, I was like, the person I've ever been the closest to, I saw her videos in a different way. Because now I was like, wow, like my abuela, your abuela, our abuelas is like, they're all different but the same. It's like a commonality. So yeah, you have this content out there. It's funny, but you don't realize that it also like, that's why I think it's so good, because it's authentic, because we can all relate.
Right.
It's, we've all been there, and you're able to capture that in your comedy, which I think is really important. So from your YouTube, Instagram, all these videos, you actually did legit start a comedy career.
Yeah.
Because you've been on the improv. So like legit. Like,
yeah. Did you always know you were
man.
funny?
So
like, did you
it
always
was
think
actually-
that?
So Jenny actually was doing it was at this little, I forgot the name of it. This little bar at the Gables. It has a stage, max 200, maybe 150 capacity. And it was like a showcase of different people. Mario was there, my friend Mario Ramil, like
Mario's
a bunch
awesome.
of people.
He's been here
And
too.
I was like, you know what? As part of my show, it's like a showcase, right? I want to try stand up. I'll prepare 15 minutes, and
That's a lot.
I just prepared the thing in my head. I went there nervous as shit. Used a lot of toilet paper. Thank God there was no pandemic at that time. This was 2017, June. I remember Father's Day was the following day. So it was a Saturday. I did my 15th, great reception. Then the guy who has Dom, who has Have Nots Comedy, he was like, hey, you're really good, you're natural, whatever. Let's do a show. So that's when we got together and we booked a show at Magic City Casino. I don't think that stage is there anymore. That venue's not there. In September. My luck. September 2017. That's when Hurricane Irma
Te
comes.
partió por el medio,
right?
Irma.
So, brother, The city used that parking lot to put all the FPL trucks.
Oh, that's right. They do that. Yeah.
Half the city didn't have power.
Right.
But I was like, the venue has power. Fuck it, let's do the show. La gente fueron y se bañarse. They hadn't showered. Like half of them hadn't showered in like a week. They didn't have power in the house. Everybody had a great time. Capacity there was 750, and we sold it out.
Wow.
So,
that's awesome.
that was just me hosting, though. I said, I'm too scared to do a whole thing. So I did some hosting. And I featured like 3 good stand-up comics. But in between, I did like what I did at the play. I did like 10 minutes.
Okay,
in between, así. It was good. It was funny. Eso fue 2017. And then after that, I was like, there was like a couple years break. Then that's when the Improv at Miami, Doral was being built. I wasn't there before.
Yeah.
I saw City Place putting stuff on Instagram about the Improv being built. I go, pa allá voy. So I contacted them and they're like, look, since we don't know who you are, the management, they don't know who I am. The guy's like, he owns Copper Blues and he owns another thing in Arizona. He owns the Improv in Arizona. Un gringo con dinero. He was like, we don't know who you are. So this is the cut we got to give you. We're only going to give you one day, which is Sunday. The Improv has a structure where if you book the weekend, you have to book Friday and Saturday. 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday. Wow. That's how they make their money, because they make money off of the drinks and food. Yeah. But they said, we don't know you. We don't know how much you're going to sell. So they said, dale esta come mierda Sunday. I posted it. Within 30 minutes, it was all sold out.
Wow.
And capacity there was 400 at the time. So they were like, so they booked me another Sunday, 2 weeks after. Because, they got to go based on availability. Like Marlon Wayans goes, they're like, all these people.
Yeah.
They're like, this is what we have. So I booked 3 Sundays. This is in 2020. What happens in 2020?
I don't know. There was a toilet paper shortage.
So this is April. April was the first one. Then I had June, July. COVID comes, pandemic, everything shuts down. No restaurant, no theaters, no alcohol serving at places. So we had to postpone the whole thing. And then we ended up doing it in November at half capacity. So I had to do more shows. But I had no voice. I had never done that. Man, I'm not a show business, bro. I'm a fucking pharmacist. So I had to do 5 whole shows. Y la gente así, con espacio, laughing así, porque it was a pandemic, dude. We're in the middle.
Wait. Did they have to have the masks on?
No.
Oh, because I was saying, can you imagine doing stand-up with a room full
No.
of masks?
No. I remember it was half capacity with spacing. They had to disinfect between each show.
Right. Could they eat?
Huh?
Could they eat?
Yeah. They
right,
eat
because remember, when you would eat, you wouldn't spread the virus, right?
Right.
Yes.
That's why you go to restaurants.
And
right.
if they got up and walked to the bathroom, they had to put on the mask because the virus knows when you're sitting that it can't spread.
It's a very, very smart virus.
No. It was.
It is a very
intelligent virus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ni hablar de eso.
It's the 19th version. It's learned.
So yeah, bro. I did the show. I did 5 shows. It was a crazy weekend. It was a Halloween weekend. Es cuando me dejaron hacerlo. Everything was closed. You remember theaters, restaurants, barbershops. People were losing their livelihoods. Nobody could open.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When I finally did it, I was like, I go to the manager. I go, Melissa, this has been very stressful. Pero I said, fuck it, ya, a la vinga.
But
I did it again.
Stressful in what sense? Like
The whole capacity thing.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
And we
okay.
didn't know if they were going to show up. Because they were like, okay, capacity is 400. You can only have 200.
Right.
Pero metimos más gente.
Right.
Y you don't know at that time. Remember, the county was cracking down on businesses. We don't know if they were going to show up and shut us down or something. Like they didn't break any rules. Pero there was like maybe 2 o 4 gatos más. I don't know. Everything was iffy back then.
It was
Remember?
a weird time.
Right,
That's true.
it was an
You didn't know what was gonna
election
happen.
year,
Yeah.
pandemic. Una pila de mierda. There was another thing I was going to do. Y there was curfew because of all the George Floyd protests. Ese año fue de pinga, bro.
Yeah.
De pinga. Like that year was tested everyone's sanity.
Yeah, I did. It did.
Yeah, bro. And but in 2022, I did another one. And then now I did one in 2024.
Okay.
Nice.
So, capacity has gone down there. They do 375 now, I think.
That's just their new.
They just never got back to the whole table setup of 400.
Oh, okay.
It's just 20, 25 less people.
Right.
But I prefer it full, bro.
Yeah.
There's nothing like performing for a full room. You go in there and...
But that's quite something that you were able to translate that, because just because you did funny videos on Instagram doesn't mean that necessarily translates to stand up.
Not everybody can do the transition. because you can't do skits up there.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Change outfits every time?
Especially not by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that either.
Or what's that song? Is it Juan Gabriel where he dresses half woman, half man?
That was Julio Zavala.
Oh, Julio Zavala.
Julio Zavala.
When he goes, and then he turns this way. I can't do that there. But
Although that might be fun. You go out dressed like that.
Pero, brother, in the comedy, you can just make it into a story without I can act out the characters, just be like, no, porque dijo esto, and the other one dijo esto. Like, I don't have to.
Right, but the fact that you're good on your feet, like,
Yeah.
Again, you can make all these content on Instagram that's hilarious,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that on your feet you're gonna be good and you're gonna have good timing.
Because on social, it could be scripted, it's edited, it's edited. It is. I mean, and so who's to say?
On social, you can take your time to think about what you're gonna say. If you don't like it, delete it. But once you're up there, that's it. You either say it right or you don't.
Also,
Sink
no
or swim.
hecklers. No hecklers on social.
No, I've never had that problem though, because everybody there is going to see me. You get me?
Yeah, but you never know what somebody's gonna say.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, not even in a bad way of heckling. Just you don't
No,
know. You gotta
like
be
in
able
the
to
last
react.
one, the first show, in the last one, there was a guy that wouldn't shut up, but he just kept saying, "I love you." And el tipo se emborrachó. He was so drunk. You just gotta I learned this now because it's like my 4th or 5th show. Now I learned just stand over them and just talk over them así. Una pinga en la cara para que se caigan, ¿no? Because if not,
just a word of caution. Depends on the audience. That may or may not work. They may get you more riled up.
So let me ask you a philosophical question. If you would have known of this talent earlier on, would you have still gone to pharmacist? Would you have been a pharmacist?
I think so. Yeah, I overthink a lot. I'm a planner. I need to know that my income is gonna be
Your source of
stable.
income, yeah.
I need to know that in 2 weeks I'm getting this, so I can plan. I got mortgages, groceries.
Yeah.
I gotta go spend $200 at Publix.
You're right.
So buying 2 items.
So Aldi, you haven't been to Aldi?
I haven't been, bro, because
No, you have to go to Aldi.
where is there an Aldi que tenga
Aquí
un
en
área
Kendall
que
Drive in
como-
122nd.
Also, the gym on 87th and Coral Way, literally on the other side of the 87th, is an
And
Aldi.
it's
So,
good-
so listen,
it's a
I'm a
good size.
Publix lover. I defend Publix. I love Publix. I grew up on Publix. My parents will go to Sedano and presentan like eso es una mierda.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I'm like Publix all the way.
Well, there goes both of those sponsorships.
I mean, they're great.
They're great. We love Sedano.
We love Sedanos.
El sabor de tu país. Anyway, I was always like pro Publix, and I still love Publix. Pero when I started going to Aldi a couple of years ago, I'm like, wait, did I just get like 6 bags of food for under $100? And
No
in Publix,
way.
Yeah.
in Publix, sale con dos jabas, and I'm like, how did I
And
just
And that's
spend
including you can buy
$90?
you can buy chicken and like ground beef and yeah.
Oh,
Oye,
shit.
pollo ahí está baratísimo.
Yeah.
Damn, but you know what? The thing of Publix is complete. You get everything
Yeah.
there. And their international section with that goat cheese and like all those
Yeah,
little
yeah,
things.
yeah.
I don't know, but espérate.
They have all
the
that at
cheese
Aldi.
section
They
at
have-
Aldi is
they
out
have
of
that?
hand.
Yeah.
It's
That
great. and
Aldi's
it's cheap.
good? The one on
Yes.
Coral Way?
Yes.
I would buy out.
The only thing is they don't have a bakery. You know, they have sweet stuff,
But
but they
not
don't
a
have an
bakery,
in-house
yeah.
bakery.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got to have that
I saw them
Publix.
in Germany. I went to Munich last
Yeah.
year for Oktoberfest in Googleville Aldi because they're German.
Yeah.
Pero no entré because it was on a Sunday. They don't work on Sundays, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no,
No, that's
Germany.
too-
In Germany. Germans don't work on Sundays. Sorry, not Aldi. Aldi aquí no le importa.
Oh, no,
Todos los
yeah.
días.
Yeah.
Aquí lo único que cierra domingo es Chick-fil-A.
Y casi
Yeah.
un cubano en Oktoberfest.
Oh, right. Nosotros estábamos ahí. There were other Cubans there. They're everywhere, bro. They're everywhere.
You found other Cubans
Yes,
in Oktoberfest.
they were amongst a bunch of Chinos because Chinos everywhere. There was a bunch of Chinos. So many Chinese people. I mean, Asian. Sorry, Asian.
And in the sea of Asians, you found the Cubans.
Yeah, because I posted that I was at Oktoberfest, and then people started messaging. Oh, I'm here too. I'm here too. So
Fucking odds.
yeah, but that's a big event. Everyone, like,
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
it's
people go to
international.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Those people live in a different way. Like on Sunday, everything was closed.
Yeah.
Esa gente no creen en trabajar el domingo. nada de eso.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. Oye, let me ask you something. Since you know you're so Miami, and you know you're a product of Miami, and I'm sure you have opinions on this. ¿Qué tú crees de todos estos neoyorquinos y gente que se están mudando para acá?
Man, like,
You said that as he's pouring his next drink, so he's getting
oh,
ready for this
man,
question.
I'm gonna put
Like
less coke in this one.
he's got.
Something tells me that he has opinions.
It's like you guys were on the same wavelength. As
So
he's
this has been
preparing.
happening for a while. This isn't new. They've been moving here. For
Yeah,
a while.
but it's gone on
4 years or
overdrive
so,
in the-
yeah.
since
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pandemic.
and it's not just there, California too. Well,
Yeah.
If
No,
you're
California,
if
New
you're a
York.
business owner, if you're someone that has a lot of money, you don't have to be a millionaire. You just have to be an entrepreneur or whatever. Y allá te están cobrando hasta la pinga de all the state taxes and everything. This is a safe haven for them.
Yeah.
This has no state tax, better real estate taxes, all of that. So I guess that's why they're moving here. Pero hacer it, me tienen los juegos hinchados, brother.
Yeah.
Con el tráfico. And I mean, the driving of the property price, I don't know about the property because you look, in San Diego's happening too. There's no house under $1 million in San Diego.
Oh, but that's a rato in San Diego.
So if everyone's coming here, how come it's expensive there too? So I don't know, man. My friend he was in the Navy. He lives now in Seattle. Ahí no se puede vivir.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah, but I mean, look,
The problem is that we got used to a certain
Yeah, and I
certain
tell
level
people all
here.
the time, like, yes, there's no state tax here, which is great, but you know, like our freaking car insurance is insane.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Our property insurance
Shit,
is
property
insane.
tax.
Like, I have a friend of mine that lives in New Jersey, and her husband, for both of their cars, they pay like $100, and I'm like, for both of your cars, and
I
I'm
pay
like,
$200 for one car.
yeah, I'm like, I pay like, a lot of money for one car, and if you have multiple cars, you'll be that way. And I just, my biggest problem with it is that's why I always like to ask people that are like from here and embody Miami. I don't care if people move here. I mean, that Miami's been based on people coming here, right? I have a problem when people come here and they want to claim it, change the narrative and the history, and say that this is what they say it is now. Like Brickell, like, oh my God, Brickell's so amazing. I'm like, yeah, Brickell's been around for a minute. There's this girl. I'm not a troller online at all. Huh? No, I'm not. I'm not. No, but I don't post on people. Like, even if I think they're full of shit. There's this girl online that's like tremendo influencer, and she the other day was like, "Oh, here are the top 5 neighborhoods you need to visit in Miami." And then she goes Coconut Grove. She's like, "Coconut Grove is up and coming," and I'm like, "Girl,
That's the oldest. That's like the oldest. If you walk through there's a bunch of historic little brown plaques. The historic sign no sé qué mierda.
That's the equivalent of saying, like, there's a couple things to see in Times Square.
yeah," like,
You know.
And then there's-
Esa tipa que she bought like a Miami guidebook. And
no,
then
no,
just
but you know what's
reading it.
funny? That I was like, Coconut Grove up and coming, and then I looked at the rest of the comments, and everybody was trashing her
Bro,
over that.
Coconut Grove
Over-
lleva 100 años ahí.
And
That was like
there's-
the first city.
There's people. I had and again, I don't really do this, but sometimes it's just I had to fight with this guy he's from New York, and
But he doesn't troll.
he's from New York, but now he moved down here, and he's doing, I don't even know what he's doing, like Bitcoin, all that bullshit down here, and Bugatti and yachts and all this bullshit. And he was like, "Oh yeah, when I moved here, when I came to
this
Miami
guy.
in 2009, Miami was a dump. It was all boarded up." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" I was like, "Yo me metí."
What
I
are
was
you
like,
talking about, guy?
"Excuse me?" I was like, even in like the recession in 2009, 10, I'm like, Miami was never boarded up.
It was never.
But they changed the narrative, right?
Pero por qué?
Yeah, but and
Pero
that
que
is
te-
what bothers
¿qué
me.
te pasa?
To suit
Like-
them. To suit them.
And then I don't know how the conversation got there, and he
He kept going back and forth.
yeah, because I was like
Yeah.
most people here are working class, and as such don't go to like whatever places. Y me estaba diciendo, "Oh, in Miami everybody eats at Carbone and Papi Steak," and I'm like, "De qué tú hablas?
brother?
Like what?"
Those are people who think that Miami ends at the border of 95 where
Brickell,
Brickell ends.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know what's over there. I think that's like the
Yeah.
Everglades.
Yeah, but that's common. When I was in high school, I went on a field trip to Washington, D.C. It was like a national thing. A bunch of high school students went. And we would tell people from Miami, they're like, "Oh my God, you live on the beach." They think that Miami is you live on the beach because that's all they show.
It's the Will Smith song.
Yeah. Will Smith.
Yeah.
The Will Smith song that, no, brother, yo vivo allá en Casa La Pinga. Like, super far. I haven't gone to the beach in forever. Porque it's a pain in the ass to go there. And I don't like the people there.
Parqueo
Like,
alone.
¿Qué es eso, brother?
God.
Y todo el mundo que está ahí es turista.
Oh, yeah.
Y todo el mundo tirándose el pedo más alto que el culo.
Oh yeah. We did a meme here some time ago. I was in Hialeah, and
Everyone
and
says, I was in Hialeah.
and
That's
there-
a disclaimer.
there was this guy who had like a Corvette ZR1. It was beautiful. And it was parked in the side of the house. And I took a picture of it. And I made a meme. And I go, Miami, where you have an expensive car, but you live in efficiency. Because you know that if he was parked in the side of the house with a door, you know he lives in the efficiency. He lives in the efficiency. Pero tiene tremendo carro.
Cuando vas al club, I don't even know what clubs are now. Back in the day, I could name drop. When I was 25, 27, I could say... They're all closed down. Mansions.
I don't know, 11.
Story.
Let's go with 11. That seems like a safe bet. Yeah.
I've never been to 11.
Me neither.
Pero yo iba a los clubs back in the day. Purdy. They're all closed down. All the good ones.
That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Oh, yeah, but that Purdy Lounge.
Yeah, bro. I went to the last day.
Oh, you did?
The day that they closed, I went. We shut it down. It was 5 a.m. They turned on the lights. They turned on the lights and they kicked us out. So now if you want to see a relic, here's a little Miami fun fact. If you want to see the DJ booth, that says Purdy, it's at the bar in Coral Gables.
It is?
Yeah. I saw it like a month ago. I was like, yeah, that shit says Purdy. And I asked him, yeah, they gave it to us. I don't know if it was the same owner or whatever.
We need to send Miami Stadium over there.
Yes. Abel.
The DJ booth is there, dude.
Yes, it's called upcycling.
Pero I don't even know what where it is to go. Toda esa gente son turistas. Either they have money or, like you said, they're changing the narrative because I don't know. You know what pisses me off too?
Dime.
What grinds my gears? When you go to a sporting event and you're playing some New York team and everybody there is wearing a New York jersey. I'm like, where are our fans?
We're not very good at that.
No, we're not, bro. We're not. We suck at that.
The Heat we're good at, but other than that,
the
Dolphins have their
baseball
moments.
Is,
the Dolphins,
baseball, forget it.
You go to a Buffalo, versus Dolphins game, and it's all
Buffalo.
Yeah, we're not very good at that.
No.
Pero if any of them make the playoffs, olvídate.
We bleed their colors.
Yeah, olvídate. Well, we want to have. It's funny because there's this guy. I don't know if you follow him, Chico 305. That he's like a huge sports fan, and I want to have him on the show because he's that. He goes to other cities to root for Miami.
Oh, really?
I'm like, coño, you know, like that's dedication. Like people here won't even like go, 10 miles to. You know?
I mean, I get it. I got into an argument once with somebody when he was playing OKC back in the day. I go, look, because they were complaining about the arena, people leaving before the game ended or some shit like that. I don't remember what it was, and I'm like, look, in Miami, you have options. So if somebody chose out of everything going on to go to a game, that's a fan. In Oklahoma City, what the fuck? If you don't go to that game, you're not doing shit. You're going to what? What are those gringos at Cracker Barrel? It was like Denny's.
Oh yeah, Cracker Barrel.
Hey. Don't mess with Cracker
No. I'm saying that's what gringos.
I will fight you for those spiced apples. All right.
Oh yeah, those biscuits and
right? They're no joke. All right. So I will not have you be smirched.
What's a gringo?
No, they'll go cow tipping.
Yeah,
or something.
You know it's so funny that this is so funny. We say this all the time about the Cracker Barrel. You've been to the Cracker Barrel, obviamente. Notice that in Miami City proper, there's not a Cracker Barrel because I'm like, okay, when you go to the Cracker Barrel, you enter through the little store, and then sale en la Americana. I'm like, if you have a waitress called Unilacy,
no,
it's gonna take away from the Cracker Barrel experience.
El barril.
No, I could just imagine, Unilacy. No, esta es una salsa ahí blanca que tiene no sé qué.
Chico,
and it's country gravy.
No.
Hay unas manzanas ahí
No hay
que
pan.
yo no sé quién come
No hay
unas
pan.
manzanas esas.
Ya, no sé qué es eso. No sé qué.
Una carne ahí con una salsa
Yeah.
encima. No, aquí no hay ni un bistec con cebolla. No entiendo nada.
No. Y ahí cuando tú entras hay una tienda con
Sí,
féfere.
ahí.
¿Quién compra eso? Like,
Yeah,
cosa más fea.
how's your gravy? ¿Qué? No, mijo, no sé nada de eso. Because if you notice, bro, you go to a white people gringo restaurant, at the table there's condiments.
Yeah.
Always. A1 steak sauce, ketchup, mustard, mayo, todo eso.
Right.
Los restaurantes cubanos, they don't have that because la comida te la vas a comer como yo la sazoné.
Yeah.
Y así es como es.
Yeah.
Just like with a coffee.
This is not your way.
Americans, they pour the shit into their coffee. The cream, the sugar, all that. No, la colada te la vas a tomar como la hice yo.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that's who
Yeah.
are you to question me?
Yeah.
That's
Although with
a
that
remnants of
said-
dictatorship.
with that said, if they opened up like a Cracker Barrel in Little Havana, I'd be there in the grand opening.
Can we
For
franchise it?
Just to
are
film
they a
content.
franchise or a
don't-
chain?
Can we franchise it?
I don't think so. I don't think they're a franchise.
Can we ask?
I don't know. I mean, that think
I think
comedy
you blow
will
up.
write itself.
I think you blow up, especially con los sillones eso afuera. Una mesa dominó, bro, y unos sillones. Put los sillones, but like when I was in Cuba, we had these Russian Soviet ass sillones. They were
boy.
made of aluminum with like bands,
Yeah.
like strings.
Yeah.
Pon eso afuera del Cracker Barrel, bro, con una mesa dominó. That would be a good idea, Cracker Barrel. Don't underestimate Little Havana or Hialeah.
Oh
porque
no.
What's that white shit that white people, not shit, the white people rest? I don't want to.
They have an Applebee's. They have a Chipotle. They have
What
There's a Starbucks on Calle
What's
Ocho
the
now,
one
guys.
that's like breakfast? I forgot.
Denny's?
Golden Corral.
No.
IHOP. Denny's.
They just came down to Miami. They weren't in here.
It's breakfast.
First something.
First watch.
First watch.
First watch. Yeah.
Esa mierda está llena every day.
food is good.
Packed. And
Yeah,
they're not Miami. They're not.
No, at all.
Yeah, you know what's so interesting about Hialeah? Like, tú sabes dónde está Lowe's.
Yes.
Ahí en la 16. That's
Yeah.
right by where my office is. Ahí, that little thing where Lowe's is, and there's an Applebee's and like a T-Mobile.
Yes.
That little spot there, it's like, oh, this is like upscale Hialeah. Because it's Lowe's.
Yeah.
Now, down the street at Home Depot,
Yeah,
it's a whole other story.
Yeah,
There's a Home
it's
Depot
true.
and a Pollo Tropical.
Yeah.
As God intended.
Because that's off Okeechobee.
Yeah.
Y ahí está Lowe's, Target. Hello.
Yeah.
Target. Not
Yes,
Walmart.
but that Target. How can I forget Target?
It's
Yes.
a Target super fancy.
Yes,
There you go.
yes.
Y no es un Walmart.
No.
Hello.
Ni un
Yeah.
Super Center.
And
or
if
any
you go
other-
down and make a left by the gun range,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? Because I know Hialeah, bro.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
hood.
yeah.
Hay un Best Buy. I don't know if it's still there.
The Best Buy is still there.
So, eso es fancy Hialeah.
Yeah. No, and where the Target is, there was a Robex there, and I'm like, ¿Quién en Hialeah está tomando Robex?
What's a Robex?
The smoothie. It's like a more upscale
Oh,
smoothie.
shit. I had no idea.
Though they closed during the pandemic, but they were there for years.
You know what was there when I moved to Hialeah? Because when we came from Cuba, we moved to Hialeah. Ahí was like a demolition derby.
In Target, where Target is.
Where Target and Lowe's is, donde los carros se chocan. And then people will go just see cars crash each other. It was just a field.
That's the most Hialeah.
Yeah, the
thing
most
ever.
Hialeah shit. And now there's a Lowe's and a Target.
That's oddly Hialeah and white trash.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a mixture. It's weird
But
how
it was all Cubans.
It
Cubans would
overlaps.
go there.
Yeah.
Después del trabajo, that was the thing.
No,
That-
no acabo de say white trash because they didn't have the Bigfoot.
The monster truck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
No, eran El Caminos, like cacharros back then.
Yeah, that's just like
Chocándolo.
down the street where they build the Pura Vida Center with like a Wawa and stuff. I'm like, this is so off. Like, this is so missed the mark.
But there, what's that word? Gentrifying.
Yeah, but it's so like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck.
Okeechobee.
That's all we gotta say.
Hialeah will surprise you. There'll be something fancy next to una gomera.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
o un buffet chino.
Ponche, 5 pesos. Straight up. Not dollars, pesos.
Dude.
They'll say 5 pesos un
Dude,
ponche.
let me tell you something. I'm not kidding. Where they built that Pura Vida Center, there was a tire place right there on 16th and Okeechobee that they knocked
know
down
it.
to build that. You remember that place? That place was falling apart.
Donde you could turn into 29th or you could go to
Yes.
Okeechobee
Now
or
it's
16th.
now it's a car wash. El car wash.
El car
Ahí
wash,
mismo.
yeah.
I think it was called Torres Tire. That was great when you were needed to buy off tires for your lease when your lease was ending, and tenía que cambiarle la goma.
Yeah.
Pero
You don't want to spend money, right? Yeah.
That's where I would go. Me ponían 4 gomas for like $100, and they wouldn't pass my inspection of my lease.
It's yours
I
now.
remember that shit, bro. I remember that place because my mom had to go there. Do you remember when cars had to have emissions?
Yes,
Yeah,
of
the
course.
Le metían un pitongo por el...
Yeah, por atrás.
Un pitongo, that's
Le-
another
un
Cuban
pitongo
word.
por atrás.
Pitongo, trapo, pozuelo.
You're compiling a list, aren't you?
Le metían un pitongo por el tubo escape to see, I don't know what the fuck.
Un fefere.
Pero that's... I remember because the EPA passed a
Yeah,
law. I don't remember
yeah.
que pinga. Pero I remember going to that place. So they
I
shut that
remember
down.
doing
It's not
that.
there.
No, it's not there anymore.
Oh,
It's not there
shit.
anymore. And across the street, you have a shopping center on the other side of Okeechobee that's totally industrial. And on the second floor of the shopping center, there's Utopia Banquet Hall. Have your Kinkses,
Okay, claro.
Next to
Hello.
el ponche.
Hello. If you get a flat tire,
I mean,
during your
hello.
15 si
The
la
limo
limusina de los 15.
Thank you. Thank you.
La limusina con ponche, la gomera. 5 pesos.
That's the type of stuff. I'm not kidding. I used to talk to my friends up north about Hialeah, and I'm like, I can't explain it.
Do you see what I mean? That you could get anything at any
but
time.
I'm like, I can't put words to it that you will understand.
Yeah.
That would really capture
justice.
the essence of Hialeah. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Because at the same time as we could sit here and be critical about it, it's also warm as fuck. Like people are great.
Let me
and,
tell
like,
you, when I've had to go, because I'm the manager at the pharmacy and I've had to go to City Hall to do permit stuff and like inventory stuff and all this shit. And it's all like, mira, lo que tiene que hacer es esto.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go to Coral, I have a friend who's a dentist, tried to open up a dental office in Coral Gables. After $200,000 in the hole, que le metió a la oficina, they had to say, fuck it.
Yeah.
He se fueron to unincorporated date. Porque the people at Gables, the city council, or whatever it's called, le hicieron la vida un yogur. And they're like, bro, I'm already $200,000 in the hole.
Yeah.
Y no, era un, y porque no sé qué, y porque las pulgadas, y vete para la pinga.
Yeah.
City of Hialeah is actually very business friendly porque es la ciudad que progresa, bro.
Claro.
This is like a spot, like a
totally
commercial
feel
for
you.
Hialeah.
Seriously, this episode brought to you by
By
Hialeah Chamber of
Hialeah.
Commerce.
Dude, I say this all the time. My parents never lived in Hialeah. We used to go to Hialeah once a year to visit my aunt, que vive por el hipódromo, as she still does, en un duple. Mi tía vive en el duple de atrás, and she moved to el duple de adelante. Which, by the way, East Hialeah is another entity.
I'm talking about West. I've been talking about West Hialeah this whole time. Paul Avenue para allá.
Yeah.
That's
a whole other
Yo
story.
no me meto para allá.
That's a whole other story. But anyway, I originally opened up my office in Hialeah because rent was cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just open a little office and rent is cheap. I'll grab a clientele and, whatever. Oh, yeah, I was there 14 years.
Yeah, man.
Because I was like, people here are really nice. When they tell you, hey, I'm going to get you a client, they get you a client.
Yeah,
I mean, don't ask too many questions.
No.
What happened? But,
Eso no es tu business.
Luckily, you're a lawyer. You don't have.
People are like legit and they help each other out, and it's like a great sense of like a dysfunctional community that works. And I love it. I love it.
It's a Cuban. If a Cuban was a city, it's what it is, man. We made that. Our people made that.
It started as a community
because of us.
Tú sabes lo que a mí me dice, they ask me all the time, ¿a dónde tú prefieres vivir? ¿En Honte o en Hialeah? And I'm like, Hialeah all day. All day, every day. Que en
Of
Honte.
course.
No.
Mira, en Hialeah estás en between Palmetto and I-95, o si estás en Hialeah, goddamn, estás en between Turnpike and Palmetto. You're on the arteries. Si vives en Homestead, eso de pinga para salir de ahí.
Listen, if you ever want to feel like non-Hialeah, you go to Westland, you go to H&M. You're like, okay, look.
I'm in Europe.
Y mira,
Mira, la 49 tiene Chipotle.
Yeah.
Tiene Starbucks.
Yeah, that little area there, that's very on Hialeah,
Tiene Starbucks. Vaya, en el mismo shopping tienen un Ross, I think.
And a Fresco y Más.
En a Fresco y Más. Pero...
Don't scratch under the surface.
Yeah, just...
Take what you can get.
Yeah, just that.
And you know what I would say all the time? I mean, you probably noticed this since you worked there so long, that I remember when the economy was like really bad in like 2011, 10, 11, all that time. Tú ibas a Westland Mall un lunes por la tarde, and that was packed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Hialeah is like, the economy may be bad, but it's not bad in Hialeah.
Ahí no se sienten las recesiones. There's no recessions there. It's so vibrant. Either people are constantly buying shit to send to Cuba, or they're buying shit because they just got here, so they need shit.
Yeah.
That Dorado Furniture. Ese Dorado Furniture is never going to go out of business.
No.
The one on 49 by Miami-Dade College.
Yeah.
What is the GDP
Oh,
of Hialeah?
fíjate, the gentrification. There's a Hobby Lobby there now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Westland Mall.
That's right. Yeah.
Hay de todo un poco.
De todo un poco.
De todo un poco.
Everything.
Y hay un Batzán también,
Everything, brother. There's
Well,
a latte.
it's Hialeah.
There's a latte and guarapo.
Yeah.
Right in the same block.
Don't have them on the same moment, though.
No.
Okay, then you're gonna need the toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
You're gonna need that toilet paper again. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
But well, I don't. Thank you so much for swinging
Nah,
by, man.
man,
Like
that
honestly,
was- it was cool.
We could be here for like 17 more hours.
could. I could
we could do a mini series if you want. We could,
We could keep talking shit
The
about-
Oyelaydan Chronicles. I don't know.
So today, guys, here's what happened. I saw this weird thing when I was taking a shower, and I don't know.
Okay, what's the weirdest shit they've asked you in your pharmacy job?
Oh my god.
Okay, before we go, I mean,
Okay. Okay.
you must have some good stories.
Well,
Your
the biggest,
pharmacy job in Hialeah. Let's
Hialeah,
whittle it down.
okay,
Yeah, not
so
Pinecrest.
the biggest shock was a lady that said, "Tengo una cosa bajo la teta," and she straight up took out her tit. Una vieja like took out her tit, and there was this thing there. She said it was hard. It's like a brown thing, and I go, "That's staph. That's like an infection. You gotta go to the doctor and put your tit away, lady."
Staph infection under the
I'm
boob?
pretty sure it was staph. I never followed up with her, but I know because I went through rotations, saw
Right,
clinicals.
right.
Okay.
Yo dije, eso es un staphylococcus de eso que te cogió abajo la teta.
ella se sacó esto adelante. Everybody in your commercial pharmacy.
No, I was to the side of the consultation area, pero igual. Imagine you go, they're gonna ask you, hey, so like I have heartburn. No, pa, la teta. And they're like, mira. And I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck?
The consultation area donde está la telita, la
Ah,
I'm sure you have.
He's
some
like,
really
I'm
good
so
stories.
glad that curtain was.
Oh yeah,
pulled.
bueno.
Just-
I'm happy that though it took 7 years. I'm
Yes.
happy that you
Yeah.
were here. So we had a lot to catch up on.
I hope it doesn't
so.
take another 7.
Yeah.
No. If I hadn't waited till 7, I would have had, all the comedies to talk about.
We could have you, you could be our year. You come every season, and what has Dairon been up to in the last year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Awesome,
Alberto. Let me
guys.
tell
Thank you, man. It was great. I had fun.
Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Dairon Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.